Welcome back to another episode of the Real Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Today I'm joined by my good friend Spencer from SB Mowing, who just over 3 years ago started a YouTube channel which has grown to over 4 million subscribers. He has over 50 million followers across all platforms, and he receives over 3 billion views annually. He is truly building a media empire, and what he's doing is nothing short of remarkable. From being invited to the Super Bowl, to having Luke Combs comment on a post he wants to come mow with him, to raising almost $900,000 for a woman in need. Spencer is genuinely one of the best people that I know, and I really enjoyed sitting down with him. We covered a wide range of topics that hopefully show you the depth behind Spencer and just how intentional he is with everything that he's building, and that he really is just a multi-dimensional person. I really enjoyed this episode, and if you guys do as well, please make sure to share it with a friend. You can find me on Instagram at Jacob O'Connor. The podcast is at Real Period Conversations. And without further ado, let's get into my episode with Spencer from SB Mowing. And welcome back to another episode of the Real Conversations podcast. I'm your host, Jacob O'Connor. Real Conversations is a podcast for those dedicated to doing hard things and living a meaningful life. Today, back on the podcast, I'm joined by Spencer from SB Mowing. How you doing, Spencer?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me back on. It's been a little over a year, I think.
Almost exactly a year. So I was looking at it. Today is April 14th. You came on, or you got uploaded on April 25th of last year.
Oh, wow.
So we would have recorded right around this time last year.
Nice.
It's funny if you think about it, because we were sitting in my unfurnished living room the first time we
Is
recorded.
it furnished now?
It is now furnished.
That's good.
Actually, my lease is about to expire, so I'm currently in the market. But yeah,
Nice.
It's crazy now that like we're in the restaurant. It's fun. It's been a fun year for both of us, like seeing everything you've gotten to do, and it's just crazy what can happen in a year.
Yeah, we both grown a ton in the last year.
I know, and that's the fun part about spacing these out is like you go throughout the year and I see all the stuff that you're up to, and I'm like, okay, that's cool. Bucket list, like put on a list for the podcast to talk about, and then keep stacking it. Like, you got invited to the Chiefs game. Did you go to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, I went to the Super Bowl.
Went to the Super Bowl. You went to the Royals game. You also striped the Royals lawn.
Yeah, I got to mow the Royals infield a little bit and outfield.
Like, tell me about this last year. Like, it's just crazy the opportunities you've had in the last 12 months.
Oh, it's crazy. Oh, man. So I think when I came on last time, I just got finished raising money for the cat shelter.
Yep, that's right. In Texas.
Yeah. And so, since then, this last summer, I really wanted to get ahead on content. And so like one thing I've been doing the first 2 years of doing content was doing as much during the summer as I could. And then we'd travel like so much during the winter. And so we'd get really burned out on traveling. And we were just away from home for so long, just my wife and I, just so that we could go down and keep mowing and keep up with content. And so I decided this last summer that I'm going to just bust my butt. And I was able to film up until I think this next week will be my last video that I filmed last summer.
Wow. And
so I was able to film the entire winter, and it was a lot, but it was awesome because I could take more of a break during the winter and do some stuff, just work on some other things I've been trying to get done and haven't had the time for. And so that was my summer. It was just get up, mow, go to bed, because it took me an entire day to mow a lawn, and then we're extra scouting. I'd have to go out extra days to go find the lawns just because I'm doing so many. And so it was a really, really busy summer. And I don't know if you know, but some people know that I'm a barbershop singer.
Yeah, I've seen your videos.
Yeah, and so I'm in a barbershop chorus and quartet. And so on top of that, I was going to rehearsals, and we compete internationally. And
wow.
So this last year we competed in Cleveland internationally, and then we did our district in October in Lawrence. And so it was just a lot to keep up with on top of work and hobbies. And and so we got invited to, man, was that this last November? It's just, time is just going crazy. But I think it was November. We got invited to Chiefs game by Harrison Butker. And no, it was the November before that. It's been a year and a half now.
Has it really been that long?
Yeah, it's been a year and a half since that's happened.
Oh.
I think.
Well, then it didn't come up last time.
Yeah. So Harrison Butker invited me up to a Chiefs game because he just loved my content. And he donated $10,000 to the Smorgascourse, which is the barbershop course I'm a part of, because they're a nonprofit. So he really wanted to make a donation to a nonprofit that I'm just kind of in touch with.
Right.
And we got to meet a bunch of the players. We went down to like the family room, like before the game and after the game, where they meet their family. It was super cool. We got to meet a bunch of people, and then we got to go out on the field and check some stuff out after the game. And it was super cool. And then he got like a custom Chiefs jersey with SB Mowing on the back of it
That is
and
sweet.
signed it for me. So I got that hung up on the wall. So that was super cool. But yeah, that was a year and a half ago now, which is crazy because I feel like that was yesterday. But yeah, another sports thing that happened was the Royals marketing team reached out to me. This was like 2 months ago, and they're like, "Hey, we love your work. We know you're close to Kansas City. Would you be willing to come up here and like do a little collaboration post with us?" And it just to kind of get people hyped up for the season opener. Right. I'm like, "Yeah, that'd be super cool. What are you guys thinking?" They're like, "We want you to come mow our field." I'm like, "Ooh, I don't know about that."
Some professional striping, man.
Yeah, because I'm so used to doing, crazy overgrown lawns, and no matter what I do to the lawn, it's gonna look better in the end. And so, their field team was and grounds team was really good though, and they just showed me exactly what to do, and it was really cool. It was definitely a whole different type of lawn care that I've never tried out. So it was really cool.
Do you have any interest in that, or was it like, that was too much, too nerve-wracking, I don't need to do that anymore?
I probably won't do it anymore, but not because it's nerve-wracking. I mean, I would love to, be able to manage or like even like grow turf and grass that's that nice. Mm-hmm. Like it's really satisfying. It's just not my expertise. And so I'm just kind of sticking where I'm good at, and that's overgrown lawns.
Yeah, I was going to say you got to stick to your focus. It would be kind of a cool sub niche for someone though to become like the expert mower. Like you get invited out to all of these famous stadiums and whatnot and get to do their lawns. Like that'd be pretty sweet.
That'd be cool. I've seen some guys kind of start to do that a little bit. Like one of my friends, he got to do the Oakland A's field before they closed, and then he went to Rick Ross's house and did like his entire field.
You're
and
kidding me?
Yeah, it was cool.
Rick Ross's?
Yeah, and he got to do different designs in the lawn for like his like yearly car show he puts on. Yeah, it was cool.
What an opportunity. Well, and then the Super Bowl too. How'd that come about?
Yeah, so the Super Bowl, this actually didn't happen through Harrison Butker. It happened through my partner, Bad Boy Mowers. Mm-hmm. And so they're also partnered with the Chiefs. They're like the official mower of the Chiefs.
Well, let's go.
And so I guess the Chiefs reached out to them and they're like, "Hey, we've got some extra Super Bowl tickets and we really want to give them to you guys." And then they called me and they're like, "Hey, we really want to give these to you. Like, we know you're a Chiefs fan.
My gosh.
And so we really want to give these to you." And we were actually traveling down to Corpus Christi to get a little bit ahead on content. This was in February. And I'm like, I don't know if I can do it, but I will make it work, like no matter what. And so we kind of switched some stuff around on our schedule and we drove over to New Orleans for like 2 days and went to the Super Bowl. It was a really cool experience.
Yeah, that's something I often talk about with my business partner, John. It's like when you have so much going on, you have like this workload that has to get done, but also like, you don't want to entirely sacrifice the present for the future. Like you don't want to miss out on those opportunities. Like sometimes when a great bucket list opportunity comes up like that, you got to find a way to make it work.
Yeah. And like even, which I've done that before. I've sacrificed a lot like in the past to kind of be where I'm at today. Like even, an example I use a lot is throughout my college years, I went to K-State, so it was about 2.5 hours away. Mm-hmm. And I was driving back every single weekend and like Friday through Sunday to mow lawns and to keep up with my clients. So like I missed out on a lot of hangout time with my friends. And like now that I'm out of school and we've all kind of moved apart from each other, I kind of look back and regret that a little bit. Mm-hmm. Because, that's just a time that, people don't have as much adult responsibilities and they're not so occupied in their job and their lives. So I kind of regret that a little bit, but it did help me kind of get to the spot where I'm at today because I was able to just continue to grow my business through school.
Yeah, that is a really difficult thing that like I know I personally struggle with is you're young and you're ambitious and you're trying to do something meaningful and like at what cost though? Like you're only ever going to be this age once.
Yeah.
And so it's like I don't want to do what some of my peers are doing, which is nothing for the future and everything for the moment. But there's got to be a little bit of give and take with that. So that's something I personally struggle with too.
Yeah, it's something that takes a lot of learning to figure out what works for you, and sometimes you do have to go too much one way or the other way to really learn what's the right spot.
Yeah, because you can feel it when that happens.
Yeah, you can because it sucks.
It does, in fact. Dude, you've got such a cool story. Like the first podcast was kind of like your origin story. You had very humble beginnings, and it's really cool that you've been able to do this and like to have these opportunities. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like to be able to go to the Super Bowl and to be able to mow at the Royals game and do all of that. Like coming from where you came from, what is that like?
It still feels unreal. Like sometimes I'm just I'm just kind of thinking about it, and it's still a little bit unreal to me. It's not like I'm like a movie star out there on like a movie screen. I guess kind of on YouTube,
Yes.
but like I'm not like, I can't go to a theater and see, a couple hundred people watching me, or like I can't, it's very hard to visualize just the impact that my platforms have had, without actually like physically seeing it. And so it's still a very unreal feeling, and I still have to pinch myself every now and again to just like tell myself, hey, this is actually happening. Like, even though that it's all like online and everyone's behind their screens, there's a field of people out there watching me right now, which is absolutely unreal. And like for organizations like the Chiefs or like the Royals to, notice me and to reach out to me and to just talk to them, like that's so cool.
Well, it's more than just a field. You're getting 3 billion views annually, and you've got over 50 million followers on all your platforms.
That's crazy.
Like you can't even visualize that many people.
No, you can't.
Hey guys, Jacob here. Real quick before we get back to the episode, I just want to take a quick second and say, if you guys are enjoying this episode, please make sure to share the link with a friend. You may have noticed I don't run any ads in the podcast. In fact, I don't make any money off the podcast. It's quite the contrary. Over the past 5 years, I've invested a lot of time, money, and effort into the growth of the show, trying to continually upgrade the equipment, bring on better guests, and just improve the overall quality of the podcast. So if you guys are enjoying this episode, or if you enjoyed previous episodes, please share the link with a friend. Saying it to 1 or 2 people makes a huge difference for me on the back end. As always, I appreciate your guys' support. Let's get back into the episode. It's just truly remarkable, like what you've been able to build, and you've done it in such a manner where it's entirely authentic and it's minimal editing. Like it's still high quality production, but you're shooting it on your iPhone, and you're not overlaying music. You're not worried about like optimizing the algorithm. Like, yes, you pay attention to those things, but like the way that you're doing it, people are just relating to your content. Like you've got people like Luke Combs talking about you on a podcast saying he wants to go mow with you. And like just you're getting invited to these incredible opportunities. And I think it's cool because it's coming to a good person, like someone who actually deserves it. And I really mean that, because like you can see the things that you're doing online, and like people want to support you because they want to help someone who actually cares and wants to give back and make a difference. And I like the way that you're doing compared to some of these other people.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Honestly, I hate praise, but I really appreciate it, because it's really cool to hear that I'm able to do positive things and leave a positive impact with this, because there are a lot of social media influencers that I see that's like, why are you doing that? Or like, that's not like, that's not very good. I think there's that, I forget his name. There's that one guy who was doing pranks for a social media account, and he ended up getting shot.
Oh my gosh.
You know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Yeah, he just had a ruling against the guy that shot him, and in self-defense. So
wow.
But it's just like I just see stuff like that, and it's just like there's a lot of people using their platforms to put negativity out in the world like that. And so it's really cool to be on the other side of it, because I feel like there's not a lot of like positivity influencers. So it's cool to be able to spread that the positivity throughout the world.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where it's like, if you look at the average screen time that someone is on their phone right now, like it is scary high, and the amount of content that they're putting out that is like polarizing or it's just negative. Like social media is a good thing overall, but like it affects how you think about stuff, affects your mentality, affects your day. You're waking up, you're scrolling, you're seeing something negative. Like it just immediately, subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, it's messing with you. And so having people like you that are putting out like feel good content, that makes all of the difference when it comes to what people are consuming, especially like this younger generation.
Yeah. What I've noticed is that a lot of the controversial posts or the polarizing posts, it's really stuff that doesn't even matter anyways. And so it's crazy that it's just kind of taken social media by storm, especially Facebook. I don't know if it's because the older generation's on Facebook and they like take everything as truth.
They definitely do.
But yeah, Facebook has been a bad place for that, at least on my feed.
So I'm curious, like you spend so much time working this, like what does your day-to-day look like? I'm sure it's ever changing, but like how much are you working? Like for the people that are watching your videos, I want them to understand how much goes into this life that you're building and the things you're doing. Yeah.
So I think, it obviously changes depending on the season. For every video that you're watching, so like every lawn that I go mow, I think on average between, finding the lawn, editing the videos for all the different platforms, actually, mowing the lawn, and I think throughout the whole process, I'm probably spending so my wife spends a little bit of this time as well helping me edit, but we probably spend 30 to 40 hours per video. And, during the mowing season, I'm trying to do 4 a week.
Wow.
And so not necessarily completely edit them, but I'm trying to film 4 a week. And then, we're trying to keep on top of at least one editing a week so that we can, continue to upload weekly. And then we just keep editing throughout the winter because there's so much to do once I film that much content. But yeah, I would say, if you're watching a 60-second TikTok clip or something, yeah, I spent probably 40 hours on that video.
That's absurd. So that's 30 to 40 on one video, but you've got all the extracurricular items that you're doing. You got the power washing channel as well. You've got merch. You've got everything else you're doing. Like how much do you think you're working a week, if you had to guess?
Oh man, on a busy week?
Yeah.
Nonstop. I mean, unless like I have a prior obligation, like I'm at my desk, like, yeah, doing something.
What keeps you there? What keeps you working 15-hour days? What keeps you locked in like that?
I don't know. I think I've grown to love what I do. And I think when you love what you do, the time just flies by. And I've also trained my brain to really get a lot of satisfaction out of checking things off of my to-do list.
Mm-hmm.
So as like my to-do list is so full, but like as long as I'm getting something done on there and like scratching it off, it feels so good to me. And and it just also feels good to be, getting my business to a better spot or getting myself to a better spot and just continuing to, take the little steps because it really takes 1,000 little steps to get to a good spot.
That's something I've become obsessed with, this idea of compound interest. Like people realize that works for money, but as long as what you're doing is something that's in a positive direction in your life, all of those are going to compound, whether that's your health, whether that's your spirituality, whether that's your business, whether that's your relationship with your significant other, like all of these little things start to add up. And then that feeling of progress, like when it starts to stack up and that momentum hits, which you've seen with videos going viral and how everything's grown for you over the years, like that momentum is one of the most addicting feelings in the world.
Yeah. And it's applicable to anything. Like, cause like once you really learn how it works, just progress in general and taking baby steps to get to your main goal. Like once you really figure that out in one aspect of your life, whether that's working out, doing in your business, financially, it's so much easier to apply it in other spots of your life because you know that it's not going to take one day to get a 6-pack. It's not going to take one day to make $1 million in your business. It really takes a long time, but as long as you're putting those baby steps every single day and doing it consistently, like consistently is what I preach because there's a lot of other guys that do what I do, a lot of other people that do what I do. And I think the reason that I've been so successful with it is because I've been so much more consistent than anybody that's done it. Like I haven't missed a video upload for 3 years.
Wow.
And it's extremely hard, but that's what you have to do. Like you have to be more consistent than anybody else, and that's how you'll get more progress than anybody else.
Let's quantify that consistency. What's kind of like your upload schedule for your shorts and videos and power washing, like just off the top of your head? Yeah,
so mowing, I upload once a week, every Friday on all the platforms. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, X, LinkedIn now. I'm not really getting any traction over there, but it just takes me an extra couple minutes to upload, so I might as well. I'm trying to Rumble now. Did I say TikTok? Yeah. All those platforms. So I'm doing that weekly every Friday. And then for power washing, I've cut back on power washing, which I've been cut back for a while, but I'm doing every other week on power washing now.
Mm-hmm.
And so SB pressure washing is every other Wednesday. I call it Wash Wednesday. And that's on the same platforms too.
So you're posting like 18 times a week then if there's 9 platforms across 2 different.
Yeah.
Wow.
About.
and that consistency is just absurd.
Yeah. And I've really got a good system down to where, as you notice, the edits are very similar. Like it's a very similar feel to every single one of my videos. And I took about a year to figure that out. Like every video that I would do, I would just make small changes. Like if I didn't like something, I would change that up a little bit. And then I would take feedback and just slowly refine, my videos, my product to a spot that, people really liked it and I really liked it. And then, my wife and I got very used to editing that style of video. And so, we've just got it very systemized now. Just the whole process of scouting, doing the properties and filming is very systematized. editing, and it just makes it so much easier once you get to that spot. Like even in this restaurant, everything has a system.
Yep.
When the bartender puts a food order, it goes to the kitchen, and then that gets made for the runners to bring it out. And it's just like once you get those systems in, it's just so much easier to continue running and growing your business, because then you can focus on other things.
Right.
Yeah.
With systems, you can automate, and automate allows you to scale.
Yeah.
Like I know with John and I, just trying to learn about the restaurant, we just get open with it, and there's so many things that are a headache, and there's all these processes. But then once you do it 100 times, you start to be able to realize, oh, this is how that happens, and you can create these rules. As long as these rules are followed, you'll get the end result that you're looking for, like 99% of the time. And then doing that gives you more bandwidth to focus on more things. And yeah, the importance of systems when you're trying to do anything of significance, like you can't operate at the highest levels without them.
Yeah, and then also another important thing with systems that I found is that, like, when you're like really refining your system or your process, is like even if there's something that takes you an extra like 20 seconds to do, but there's a way you can like implement it that's going to take you 3 seconds. Like if you can spend an hour doing that, dude, over a year, like, or like if you've got 5 servers that have to do that, like over like a year, that's like that hour that you spent like changing that part of your system is going to like it's going to compound itself.
Right. Yeah. There's a podcast I really enjoy called Founders Podcast. You ever?
I haven't.
Okay. So it's David Senra. He is absolutely obsessed with history's greatest entrepreneurs. So he reads an autobiography, a couple of them, and then he'll make an episode, like a 50-minute episode about that business or that person or whatever. And he figured out that if he gets 1 million downloads per episode, and if he's able to shave off just 1 second per episode in his process, over the lifespan of that episode, it'll save like 200,000 hours for the listeners across all these platforms. It's like thinking at scale like that, like exactly what you're saying. Every little small thing compounds, makes a big difference in the end result.
Yeah, it really does.
So you work with your wife. What is that like?
It's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's awesome. So obviously we both work from home just on our laptop. So, if it's what I like about being an entrepreneur is just the flexibility of it. I'm not stuck in an office. If I want to schedule my dentist appointment for tomorrow, I can.
Right.
Like I'll just make my day go around it. And so, yeah, it's really nice both of us working together because of that. And then if we want to go do something together, we can just go out to lunch or something. Like we don't have to ask off. And it's a lot of people would say, oh, we can't work with each other. We would kill each other. And I think we're just the opposite. We get along so well. We rarely have arguments. And so I think we're just kind of meant for this. That's
really cool. Is that something that you had to work at? Because like I know that for a lot of successful people, they struggle in relationships because they're so focused on their work product, and it can be isolating. And like you said, they don't work well with their partner. Like I'm curious how you've been able to integrate it into your relationship and be a good companion working together.
Yeah. So, I mean, first off, we have the system. So like, we know like what our responsibilities are, like down to the T. And so, that's been really nice. And then, I think what's really hard about, like trying to maintain a relationship and being an entrepreneur is trying to, make sure you're very, what's the word for it?
Intentional?
Yes, intentional. Thank you. Very intentional with your time. Because I mean, I've had times where I'll just literally work all day, and she'll be like, "Hey, I'm still here. Like you want to go do something? You want to eat dinner with me?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, sorry." And so that's been the only struggle of mine, just with my relationship. But yeah, with both of us working together, it just works so natural. I don't even know how to explain it, but it's really only cut out for certain couples. And like, I'm very patient, she's very patient, and we're very understanding. Like, we're not people to, see. I'm not somebody to see if she's done something wrong or if I've done something wrong, and to just nag on the other person about like we really like say, hey, why'd you do this? And then, oh, that makes sense. Like from your point of view, that makes complete sense, but let's do it this time, or let's do it this way. I think that might be better. And I'm over explaining this. You just have to be amazing communicators.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
I think it's really cool because like a lot of my listeners are my age or younger, and you're a young guy in a very healthy relationship with a business that's thriving. And it's like, I think a lot of people my age are concerned about how they're going to have a relationship and do the things that they want to do business wise. And for you to find a way to like have a partner that supports you in that so heavily. I mean, I used to be concerned that was going to be a detriment. I know a lot of my listeners are too. Like, how can I have a relationship and care so deeply about a business? But like, I feel like I'm coming to realize that it can be a benefit. It can help you overall. And I think that's something that you've seen too.
Yeah. And I mean, as long as you're finding a partner that's on the same wavelength as you, like your business is going to do so much better because like you're going to have their support for everything. And like, there's so many things that, I have like an idea for that I run by my wife and she's like, yeah, maybe this would be better. I'm like, dang, why did I not think of that? And actually every thumbnail and title, my wife and I sit down and we've actually started using ChatGPT to help us think of some ideas.
Nice.
But we just start listing out, different title name or just different title ideas and thumbnails. And usually she's the one that has a better eye for that stuff. And so like if I were picking out thumbnails and titles on my own, who knows where I would be right now because those are some of the most important things you can do.
Well, and if I remember correctly, wasn't it her idea to take your long form video the first time, make it into short form, and then it got like a couple million views on TikTok?
Yeah. Because I made my very first YouTube video was my very first piece of content. And then, like within that week, she convinced me to put it on TikTok and make a short form video of it. And, my YouTube video had like 200 views, which was great for my first one. That's a ton. And then I posted on TikTok and it got 6 million views. I'm like, whoa.
That's crazy.
And I think that's what really got my blood pumping and what really got me excited to keep doing it.
Yeah. I just started posting on YouTube this last year. I'm getting like 50 views. So your 200 is not too bad.
Yeah. Dude, YouTube's hard.
It is.
YouTube's very tough.
And I guess I'm doing a little bit differently than you are. I'm not like what you're doing is like the product is the YouTube video, whereas mine is more, I call it documenting the journey. Like I want to be able to look back 10,
I've seen
10
your
years
videos.
from now. Oh, I appreciate that. That's really nice of you, man. I'll take any critiques, but yeah, that's just what I'm trying to do is capture the moment really. So that hopefully one day I can look back and if this is all a social experiment, if any of this ever works out, I just want to be able to point to someone and say, if you're curious what happened, you can go watch it because I documented all of it, win, lose, or draw, like it's going to be out there.
Yeah. They'll be able to go watch you like 10 years ago and you'll be like, yeah, that's really embarrassing. So like get past that part. But yeah, see where I came from? Look at that.
That's exactly what I do is I'll literally go back and all of my original podcast episodes are out there from like when I was 17 years old. And I'll sometimes I'll re-upload them and I'll just point out like, guys, pay attention to how bad of an interviewer I was and how awkward this is. Like this is me on Zoom with my Apple microphone, like talking into this computer. Like you can figure it out.
Have you heard my voiceover from my early videos?
Not from your early ones.
Okay. Well,
pull it up.
Yeah, let me play it up. I'll play my voiceover in the mic. I got a lot of critique on this that like, oh, your voice is so satisfying and soothing and it's so slow and it makes me want to sleep. But really, like, I was just being quiet because my roommate was sleeping while I was trying to do my first voiceover.
Dude, that's awesome.
I got to scroll back quite a ways. I have so many TikTok videos.
You're good,
it's
man.
Crazy. Here we go. Yeah, these beginning videos I'm embarrassed of, but I'm proud of them at the same time too.
You have to leave them so people can see where you started.
Oh yeah, I'm never taking these down. Yeah, that first video has 7.4 million views.
Let's go.
All right, this is my very first voiceover I ever did.
Hey everyone, this is Spencer with SB Mowing, and today we're taking care of a single mother who got her lawnmower stolen from her at the beginning of the summer. She reached out to me on Facebook for help, and I told her I would do the service for free. I started on the front yard by cutting back these really overgrown edges. There were a few places where I had to shovel the dirt and turf off the cement.
So yeah, it's just, it was very, very slow paced, very kind of just being quiet like this. So my roommate didn't hear me talk. And like, you can kind of tell how I've refined that.
Yeah.
I've got more energy behind it. I've got it to where it doesn't have very many pauses so that, it's very, catching to the viewer. Yeah.
And you can tell that you're whispering too, because he's got the little pop noise when you're trying to talk quiet. Dude, I can picture you with like a blanket over your head in the dorm room, just like trying to get the video out.
That's what it was. And yeah, I would just use I had like a really crappy Android phone at the time too.
Oh no.
I just hold it right up to my mouth and try to be as quiet as possible.
Oh, I love that, man. I love it. One of the things I want to do too is I did have a lot of questions come in, so I wanted to just give people the opportunity to ask these. This one's not a question, but I thought it was kind of cool. It says, just want to appreciate him. I love his work. I've seen all his videos. God bless him. I'm a fan from India.
Oh, wow.
How cool is it to be
That's
international, man?
That's
Like
awesome.
all over the world, people are watching you mow people's lawns.
That's so cool. I wonder what's like the most like remote country that somebody's watching me from.
I wonder what is the most popular country outside of like the U.S.
I think it's Brazil.
Brazil.
Mm-hmm.
You just started dubbing these too. I saw that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's so smart.
Yeah. So all of SB Mowing is available in 10 different languages now.
How is that AI? Did you hire someone?
Yeah. So I hired someone for a while for Spanish, but it was pretty costly.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started using an AI tool because AI has gotten pretty advanced in the last year. And I tried to do this like 3 years ago, but it just wasn't good enough.
Right.
And so started using an AI tool and probably spent like 200 hours dubbing on my old content. Like it took me forever. Probably more than that, honestly, but it took me forever. And yeah, I dubbed all my old YouTube videos in 10 different languages. And yeah, Brazil's been really popular, but yeah, I've been having some issues with YouTube. Like they gave me access to like the multi-language feature that they have.
Uh-huh.
And then they just randomly took it away, like after I uploaded everything.
Oh no!
And so I haven't been able to keep up with that on my new videos. But I've seen a big spike in like in Brazil and Japan and France. I think those were the top 3.
Do you see it with merch sales too? Like, are you shipping internationally, or is it all just domestically?
I haven't seen it with merch sales. Yeah, internationally is very hard. Like I've shipped a lot international, and like a lot of it just gets like lost or like stuck in customs or like something like that.
Right.
And so I haven't really liked shipping internationally, so I've kind of cut back on that. But I do still technically ship internationally, but I don't like to.
Yeah, it just always gets lost out there.
Yeah, it does.
All right, this next one here, it says, doesn't he just love having a sister? So I was curious, do you actually, is your sister, is this a random person that's like...
That's my sister for sure.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's gotta be.
Are you going to give a shout out or what?
Does it have her name on there?
Yeah, you can look at it.
Yeah, that's my sister, Rachel. That's funny.
Got you a little bonus points right there. Okay, this is one that I expressed concern about last time, so I'm glad someone asked this. Does his back hurt? Some yards have a lot of shoveling.
So my back, like sometimes it gets a little bit sore, like my muscles, but really not a lot. I'm starting to get a little bit of pain in my and like tendonitis and in my arm, like where I'm really like pushing the shovel into the dirt. But other than that, no, I don't get a lot of pain. So
this is something where like you're doing a very manual labor intensive career here. Like, what is kind of your longevity plan? Like, what are you doing so that you can keep doing this physically?
Oh, I should be doing more. I take fish oils and B vitamins when I can.
Well, that's great.
Yeah, honestly, like I don't do it. I should be like stretching. I've got a hot tub now. I don't know if you saw that.
You talked about it on the podcast. Did it come in?
It came in.
Dude, let's go.
So I do hot tub when I can, when I have time to. That's about it.
Oh man, I want you to last a long time.
I do too. It's been my New Year's resolution for the past 3 years to become very flexible. I haven't been able to do it.
How do you define flexible? Is that touching your toes? Or are you doing the splits?
Touching my toes.
Yeah,
that's all I want to do. I've been very unflexible my entire life, and that's one goal I have that I quite haven't had the time or the motivation to hit. That's like a big struggle of mine, is to get that down.
I think like, because you are working so hard, I think if you can try and like shift the mindset of this will allow me to work harder and longer. Like, I mean, that's how I try and look at some of the stuff that I do, is like, if I want to be doing this 20 years from now, like taking an hour now could potentially help that if it compounds. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's just what I try and think about with it.
Yeah, I think that's a good mindset. I need to get more into that mindset because, yeah, whenever I'm stretching, dude, I'm just in the moment. I'm like, dang, this hurts, dude.
You got some tight hamstrings, dude.
I have some really tight hamstrings.
I think the ice bath too, man. That inflammation, you've got to be just a little bit swollen. I think I always feel so good afterwards.
Yeah, I've tried ice plunging in the mornings. Not at my house. When I was working down in Florida, one of my buddies had an ice plunge, and I loved it. It sucks trying to get in it, but once you're in it, it's awesome. I definitely need to get one for my house. I think I would do that a lot.
So I've got a Friday morning routine. I do ice bath sauna every Friday morning for an hour.
Where do you do it at?
It's called Sweat House in Bradley Fair.
Okay.
So it's just back and forth from sauna to ice bath for an hour. I've never felt fresher. if you ever want to go, dude, I would love to take you because I feel so good afterwards.
Let's do it.
Okay. We'll set it up.
Fridays?
Then. Yeah. On a Friday morning, we can set it up. I was going to ask you too, like with you working so much and it being physically, like intense and you're tired and like, what is your caffeine intake like?
I don't drink any caffeine.
No caffeine.
Actually, caffeine gives me like really bad anxiety.
I've experienced that.
So like, yeah, like whenever I've noticed that, I drink a coffee or something, or I've never had energy drinks. I just don't like them. But whenever I've had a coffee in the morning and I haven't like eaten or anything, dude, that whole day I'm just like super anxious all day. And I had it really bad one time. Shout out to Rachel, my sister Rachel. I was over there helping her at her house with the garage sale, and I didn't eat that morning. And it was like 7 a.m. or something. I haven't eaten yet, and she used to be a barista, so she made me like a double shot latte or something like
Lord,
that.
Man.
And I drank it in like 5 minutes. It was so good.
Oh, good.
Dude, that whole day, like I haven't had such bad anxiety. Like I was basically having an anxiety attack the entire day, and like I could just feel like that feeling in your chest.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, after that, I just don't touch coffee.
So what do you do? Like, does eating heavy food, does that make you lethargic? Do you focus on hydration? Like, what are you doing to keep your energy high?
Hydration and just protein, I think. When I'm out mowing, I've got a ton of protein snacks with me. I like Chomps a lot.
Chomps are good.
Yeah, Chomps are awesome. Just protein. And then honestly, I think I have an issue with sleep sometimes too. I feel like I require a lot of sleep, like 8 to 10 hours to really feel refreshed.
Mm-hmm.
And so if I'm not getting that, then I feel really sluggish all day. But it's also, I think a big part of it is the mindset. Like even if it really sucks while I'm out there doing it and it's really hot and I don't want to do it, I just keep telling myself in my mind, hey, just keep working through this. You'll be done. Like you just got to keep getting through it. Like edge this, like just focus on the small steps. Yeah. Like edge this part of the sidewalk. Like, let's just get this part of the sidewalk done. Yeah, let's get this part of the sidewalk done. Okay, once you're all done with that, you can mow and then you can go home. And so I think it's really a mindset thing for me, is just to keep chugging along. Like you're gonna be done soon.
Yeah, you chunk it into smaller pieces. Like you break the task up into bite-sized little items.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And I used to be like that as a kid. Like I used to go out every winter when it would snow and shovel people's driveways for like $20 or something. And man, when you start a driveway and it's some wet, heavy snow,
right?
And you're like, oh, this is going to suck. But if you just lock in and you just do it one shovel scoop at a time, like you'll be done sooner than you know it.
And then going back to what we said earlier, you feel so good afterwards. Like that's the value in doing hard things, is that dopamine you get after.
Yeah. Oh, the dopamine's amazing. And, just sitting there and dreading it and procrastinating, not starting. I just keep telling myself, the later you start, the later you get done.
Yeah.
And so if you just keep telling yourself, just get started because you'll be done sooner. Like that's the mindset that you need to have.
And that's a hard thing too. Like that's an action towards bias, which is a beautiful thing. And it's hard because like people, they want to procrastinate. They want to like, oh my gosh, I don't want to do this because it's going to be so hard. I don't want to write that paper. And then they put themselves in a time crunch and they're even more stressed out about it. It's like, if you would have just started doing it, we would be done by now.
Yeah. So if you can really get the discipline to start early on stuff and just get crap done and out of the way, just so you don't have to give the mental power to even think about it, then yeah, I think that's been a huge thing for me and a lot of the success that I've had.
Do you focus on mindset? Like, is that something where you've tried to do some personal development, where that's reading podcasts, whatever? Is that something you've...
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Where do you go to?
I'm all about self-development. That was honestly like the only books that I would read for like, or listen to for like, probably like 4 or 5 years straight. I've started getting a little bit more fiction now, but like, yeah, self-development, just everything. Just like the way that you think, negotiating, real estate, just like learning about different things and just growing your mind. I was very addicted to that. And like personal finance, I was really into personal finance. My first YouTube channel was personal finance. I think I told you about that. But I was very into self-help stuff. I still am. I think just listening to podcasts, you'll see in my newer videos, I've got AirPods in, and I'm listening to podcasts, to ebooks, to whatever I can to not only make the process enjoyable, but also to not just be mowing the lawn. I'm also, growing myself.
So someone noticed the AirPods. One of the questions they asked is, what are you listening to? So I'm curious, as a podcast junkie, what podcast do you listen to?
It's very normal, but I've been listening to Joe Rogan a lot.
There you go.
I listened to Bigger Pockets Real Estate a while back for a while, and before I started getting into real estate, just to learn about it. When I was into personal finance, I listened to the FIRE podcast, Financial Independence, Retire Early. Let's see. I've listened to a little bit of Sean Ryan. What are some other ones I've listened to?
You got to check out Modern Wisdom if you haven't heard of that.
I haven't heard that one.
So he's out of Austin, Texas, and he interviews everyone from Matthew McConaughey to he just had on Naval Ramakant. I forgot how to say his last name. Out of California, but he's out on Andrew Huberman. He's got a wide array of people. It's very similar to Joe Rogan, but he's more focused on personal development.
Oh, I need to listen to him then.
Joe's enjoyable, but he will also go all over the place.
He will, yeah.
Modern Wisdom, it's if he has the guest on, they're going to be talking about how they got to where they are and kind of breaking that down.
Yeah. And plus, if I want to laugh, I listen to Theo Vaughn.
He's hilarious. This past weekend is so good.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Yeah, I love that. What kind of books do you listen? Or I guess you said any specific top books stick out in your mind?
Oh man, let me look.
Yeah,
it's I've been more on the podcast trend for a while, so it's been. This was an audiobook I just listened to. It was really cool. It's called Codename Pale Horse.
Okay.
Joe Rogan had this guy, Scott Payne, on as a guest, and he is a retired FBI Secret Service, or not Secret Service, undercover agent.
Yeah.
And he's just this big burly dude, and he's got a big tattoos everywhere, and he's got a big beard, and he would go undercover for biker gangs and stuff, and he's got some crazy stories. It is a great listen.
What are biker gangs up to?
Well, I don't know what they're doing now, but back in the early 2000s, crime stuff, drugs, Grand Theft Auto.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I mean, not sweet, but very interesting.
And so, he would go undercover for 3 years at a time. And there was this one, what was the biker gang called? There's Hell's Angels is one of the main biker gangs, and their rival is the out. I don't know. It probably doesn't matter, but he would go into these biker gangs and basically become really good friends. He basically would he'd go to these people's houses and play with their kids and talk to their wives.
Wow.
and basically become he just had this mindset where he would create a whole separate identity, and he would just become really, really close friends with these people.
That's crazy.
And you take them all down in the end. It's crazy. I think most of them went to jail. Most of his really close friends for or to prison for a decade or more. How
do you not get an emotional attachment? You're pretending to be this person, but you're going to still you're with their families. And
it takes a special kind of person. And I think you do still have that emotional attachment, or he did at least. But I think he kept, what's real in the back of his head. I remember he was saying, his absolute best friend, he basically called him and said, hey, I would take a bullet for you, and I would, do anything for you. I would die for you. And he's like, man, this guy's he said he was sitting at his house bouncing his daughter on his knee, and he's like, man, this guy's such a great friend. I can't believe I'm doing this to him. And then he looked at his fridge, and it had a saying on it, what would Satan do?
Oh my gosh.
And he's like, yeah, I'm nothing like this guy.
Wow. Wow. That's just crazy, man.
So that book, Codename Pale Horse, that was a really good read. Let's see what else I got in my little library here. I haven't done a lot of actual reading. I do mostly audiobook listening.
Yeah, well, your days are pretty busy, so that would make sense.
Yeah, let's see what I got in my library. Oh, I just listened to The Sunrise on the Reaping, the new Hunger Games book.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good one.
Was it good compared to the others?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. It was interesting hearing the because it was Hamish's story, so it was a prequel, so it was kind of cool. Day Trading Attention. Have you read that one
I've
yet?
not.
It's Gary V's book.
Gary V?
Yeah, Gary V's book. Shout out to Gary V. He sent it to me.
Are you serious?
Yeah. He sent it to me until I read it, and It's basically it's just talking about how to keep people's attention online.
Do you know Gary Vee?
We've talked over DM.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, he let me see if I still have this. He just randomly reached out to me one day, which I've seen his stuff, forever, forever. So it was really weird seeing him reach out to me. But yeah, he follows me, but yeah, he just randomly messaged me, "Keep winning."
Oh my God.
And then it hit him with the automated message.
You hit him with the facts, dude. We talked about this last time. You have so many darn FAQs.
Dude, I'm so sick of answering people's questions. When they ask the exact same questions 1,000 different times.
Just over and over.
I just throw those in there. I'm just to hopefully not get those questions.
Does something like that happen? Do you have people reaching out in your DMs that are like Gary Vee and just kind of like big people and you're like, whoa.
Yeah. Yes. Sometimes I miss them. Yeah, I've had, oh man, I'm trying to think of some other big names. It's hard now because you still can filter by verified badges, but now anybody can buy a verified badge,
right?
So it's really hard to see people now. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. You got
a shout out from Luke Combs, so I'll give you that one.
Yeah, I did get a shout out from Luke Combs.
And the Chiefs player invited you out, so that was cool.
Harrison Butker, yeah, yeah. I'll have to look back through my DMs and let you know. I get so many DMs like it's crazy.
Well, and you get so many comments on your videos too. It's do you even try to go through them?
No, I've had times in my life where I've gotten very depressed from comments.
Yeah.
Even if there's 1,000 good ones, if there's one really negative one, it just really puts you down. So
yeah.
I take on Joe Rogan's method now. I post in ghost, so I don't really.
Dude, that's so sweet.
I barely look at comments anymore. But yeah, these are all there's
dear Lord, dude,
endless DMs.
Dear Lord,
especially when I have a viral video or something. It's 1,000 DMs in a day.
That's absurd.
Yeah, so it just goes on and on and on. So it's sometimes I miss people that reach out that are really cool people, and then I'll see that they messaged me and it's from a few months ago. I'm like, dang,
you're gonna find out you missed a DM from Joe Rogan.
Probably. That'd be so cool.
Has that crossed your mind? You're pretty close because he likes the niche people. He had on a beekeeper and he's had on you're definitely in the field of the type of person he would have on.
Yeah, I've never seen him have really an influencer on though. That's outside of his extreme niche that he's interested in. I've seen him have influencers on about ancient artifacts, or there's this guy that has this spot in Africa where it's crazy amount of dinosaur bones and stuff.
Yeah.
And mammoth tusks and stuff like that. Yeah. I don't know. For some reason, I just never see him reaching out to me.
I think he will. I hope he does. There's this one gal, because I have bees with my cousin. We raise our own honey. And he had on a gal from Texas where he kept seeing her reels come up, and she would go into these old abandoned homes, whatever, and the bees had built hives along the walls.
And she'd save them?
And she would save them just by hand with no mask or anything.
What was her name?
I can't remember off the top of my head.
Oh, I've seen those.
Yeah.
And she's super satisfying with it. And,
yeah.
And her voice is today
it's the same thing as you, man.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
It's the exact same thing. Today I went to this abandoned house to fix these, or to save this beehive in the wall.
Right.
And then she always ended with it's a great day for saving bees.
It is,
she would always say that. Yeah. I haven't seen that girl's reels in a while, but I used to watch them all the time.
I'm manifesting this. I think you're going to go on Joe Rogan. I think it's going to happen.
Hopefully. That'd be so cool. I love Joe Rogan.
We're going to clip this, and it's going to be really sweet whenever you are on there. We'll make a compilation out of it.
Well, if Joe Rogan sees this, I'll scroll through my podcast. I probably listen to every single one of his, at least the past 30 of them.
Joe's a big fan of the podcast, so this could happen.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, I wish he was. Okay, one thing I do want to hit on before you end up having to run is Beth, man. For the people that don't know, you did something incredible, and I want you to kind of talk about that and tell the story a little bit.
Yeah, that was wild. So for those of you that don't know, I'll try to make this story short. I got a message from the city, or a lady at the city, and she said, hey, there's this lady that we keep reaching out to because her lawn's getting crazy and she can't get anybody out there. Is this something that you can take care of? I'm like, yeah, let me go check it out. So I went, talked with this lady, and just this very frail old woman. I'm like, dang, yeah, I'll definitely help you with your yard. Like you really need the help. I'm really surprised somebody hasn't helped you by now. And so I got her yard cleaned up, and that was actually That was last July. I did that.
It was that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Remember I told you?
Because you saved the video.
I film all my content during the summer now.
Oh my gosh.
And so I finally got around to uploading that in January. And I didn't upload it sooner because I knew it was going to be a good video. And so I just wanted to wait till my channel was kind of on the rise, because it kind of dies down in the late, like October, November, December, and that starts to gain traction. So once it started gaining traction again, I upload that video, and yeah, it went super viral. Like that, the TikTok I put out is my most viewed TikTok. I think it's like at 120 million views or something.
Oh my gosh.
Absolutely wild. Like it's not even, it's my most viral video by far. And I got so many people like, hey, like I really want to give some money to this lady to help her out or whatever. I had a ton of companies reaching out to me like, hey, can we send this item to this lady? We think it'd help her out a lot. And so I started the GoFundMe that week. And dude, it was absolutely insane. I put the goal of $100,000 for the GoFundMe. I think we hit the goal in like 30 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Like it was the most exhilarating feeling watching the GoFundMe at like $10,000, clicking refresh after like 5 seconds, and it's up to like $16,000.
Dude.
And then after 5 seconds, clicking refresh again, it's at like $20,000. I'm like, this is insane. And so I just raised the goal. I'm like, let's just let this thing roll for this lady. And so yeah, I think it's almost up to $900,000 now, and we raised $900,000 for her, and yeah, completely changed her life. She doesn't have any family here in town. She barely has any friends here in town. She's from California. She's got some family in California that hasn't really stayed in touch at all for a long time. And so she's just kind of alone. And she's a very sweet woman. And she's like, I keep telling her like, and everyone that she's the most deserving person that could get this money, because like just from talking to her, she's just so selfless, and like everything is not about her. It's about something else and or somebody else. And even when I showed her how much money we raised for her, she just started crying, and she's like, man, I can't believe that like why me? Like why not for like the wildfires in California, or why not for the hurricane victims? And I was just telling her like, people just love your story and we want to help you out. And so it took like a month and a half or 2 months to get the money out of GoFundMe, because I wanted to make sure that the money was in a trust, so that one, no random family members that haven't talked to her for years go try to get on her will or something like that now that she has money, and just try to take advantage of her. And two, obviously I don't know her super well. I know her a lot better now, but I wanted to make sure the money was used for what's supposed to be used for her health, for her safety, for her wellness, for her comfort. You never know when someone's a random gambling addict or something like that. And so I just want to, cross all the T's and dot all the I's. And so we got that money about a month and a half later, and I just presented it to her basically like a month ago, and we just immediately started going and spending it. She really needed a new bed. We're going to get her a new place. She's, I just posted this. I don't know when this is going to go out, but I just posted this a couple of days ago. She did have a fall and she broke her hip.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And so she had surgery yesterday. So I put out a post requesting prayers for her, and so she's recovering from that. And so she's been in the hospital for a while, and the doctor thinks that she's going to recover and be able to walk again. Good. So we're kind of weighing our options between more of an assisted living versus independent living with like almost full-time care. Because shoot, we raised her $900,000. Like,
right. You can afford it.
Yeah, we can afford it. Like we can do a lot to really make Beth comfortable and to really, let her live her life to the fullest. And so, yeah, it's just wild that I even had the influence to be able to do something like that.
Well, I think it's cool. You also took it a step further to establish the trust, work with an attorney, make sure that it had the proper rules and things around it, the guardrails to make sure that money was used like properly. I think that's super sharp.
Yeah, I mean I've seen some GoFundMes in the past where they end up getting scammed out of their money, or like they end up going and like buying a boat with it or something. I'm like, that's not going to happen.
No.
I just felt a very big responsibility as the person that put on this GoFundMe and promoted this GoFundMe to, not only, have this money be used wisely for Beth, but also for the people that donated the money. Like I couldn't imagine if I donated $500 or something and to see my money get blown.
Right.
And so I just had that big responsibility on my chest to make sure it was good for the donators and make sure it was good for Beth.
And that's something we kind of talked about like before we started the podcast today was like you're growing so much. Like it's really cool to see. You're also taking on a lot of stress and a large workload, but like correlated directly with the amount of success you have is the amount of impact you can have now.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're in a position where you can literally change someone's life like Beth.
Yeah.
And as you continue to grow, your impact's only going to get larger. Like, is this something that you've really thought through and wrestled with? Like, how do you conceptualize the growth trajectory that you're on?
Yeah. So I think there's, do you know what date this is going to go out?
This is going out on Monday.
Okay. I probably won't give out too much info yet because, well, I'm still working on as a secret. I'll tell you after the podcast.
Okay.
But I've got a way that I'm doing things or something that I'm setting up to be a really good extension of what I already do. And so it's going to be something really big, and I'm really excited for it. And I kind of got motivated and the inspiration to do this from Beth's story and being able to do this for Beth. And so for those of you that are listening, stay tuned. In the next month or two, I'll probably announce it. I'm not sure when yet, but
yeah, that's exciting.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for you to tell me afterwards.
He's like, let's end this podcast now.
I was going to say, like, that's such a good teaser right there. Shoot, where's I going with this? Oh yeah, last time you mentioned an interest in a car restoration YouTube channel. Has there been any progress on this? Or is this...
No progress.
Oh man.
So, well, I'm kind of working on progress. So I have a lot of equipment. I have a lot of equipment maintenance I need to do. I've got my work truck. I need more space than what I have now in my current garage setup. Like I'm like cramming things in my garage right now. So we're currently looking for like a piece of land that I can build a shop on. And then, eventually down the road, we can build our dream house on.
Nice.
And so that's kind of a step in the direction of that channel is, building a shop and having more space for something like that. But, initially it's going to be for more space for what I need for it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that because you're such a dynamic person. Like people watch you and they probably think like just lawns, like he's just the lawn care guy. But it's like, no, you had a degree in computer science. You were an app developer. You have a deep interest in real estate. You're interested in finance. Like you're a very multidimensional person. I don't think people get to see that a lot.
I like video games a lot too.
You like video games a lot?
Not anymore, but I used to.
Yeah. How do you decompress? Is video games something you go to?
It's been bad. A lot of time I've been scrolling TikTok lately.
They got you hooked, man.
Dude, it's bad. Scrolling TikTok. Video games is very hard for me because I love video games and I get very addicted to video games very quick. And so I used to play a game called RuneScape. Any RuneScape fans out there?
I've never actually heard of it.
Oh, it was very popular back maybe 15 years ago. It's still pretty popular now, but it's just a game that can suck your life away. And so, I think as a kid, I put like 3,500 hours into that game.
That's dedication.
Yeah.
That's full dedication.
And I think that was one of the reasons that I quit really playing video games because I got to a point where I would play so much. And like after like a full day of playing video games, I would just sit there and be like, oh my gosh, like what could I have done with that time?
Yeah.
Like what progress could I have made that actually matters in my life rather than progressing a game?
Mm-hmm.
And so my mindset kind of shifted. I still have fun playing games, but if I play them too much, I'd start getting a little depressed from it, honestly.
Yeah, sure. Do you feel like you have an addictive personality? Like, do you feel like your obsession with video games moved over to personal development and business, or do you feel like it's different?
That's a good question. I've never had like a tendency to be addicted to anything like really bad, like drugs or alcohol or anything like that. And like I don't know, maybe if I tried some really addictive drugs, who knows? I might be addicted to them. I've never done crazy drugs.
Let's not find out.
But yeah, maybe I'm not sure. maybe I've kind of changed that addiction from video games to more of a personal development, I think.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. That's a good question, though.
As I think about it with myself, like I grew up playing basketball a lot. I was never into video games. I was always just at the gym playing basketball. That's all I ever wanted to do. And then after I finished playing in high school, I was like, well, what do I do now? And it was like a kind of a depressive state. It's like, what do I do with this like kind of obsession I've had for all these years? And then that's when I turned to business, podcasting, personal development. And I think for myself, I do think it's the same passion, but just in a shift in focus.
Yeah. I think that's true with me too. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, Spencer, as we start to wrap up, just a couple more questions for you. The first one, it's probably obvious to everyone listening, but just so we're saying it out loud. Where can people find you if they want to connect, reach out, learn more?
Yeah, you can, any platform, at SB Mowing or at SB Pressure Washing if you want to watch that content. If you want to reach out to me, you can go to my website, sbmowing.com. I've got a contact form there. You can also pick up merch if you want to there. But yeah, I've got a contact form. I don't reply to all my contact forms, but there's a very large list of frequently asked questions before the contact form. So make sure your question is not in there.
And make sure you get the merch. These hats are sweet. There we go.
I better see you wearing it around town.
Hey, I'll be wearing it, man. You'll see it on my runs.
Dude, if you go wear that into like Walmart or something, you'll get a few comments.
I was going to ask you about that. What is it like being recognized? Like, how does that feel?
It's really cool. It's really weird too. Especially when somebody recognizes you, they feel like they're your friend, and they know you, even though you have no idea who this person is.
Yeah.
I think I have the best of both worlds. If I go wear this to the gas station, I guarantee you someone will recognize me in Quick Trip.
Yeah.
But if I'm not wearing this or my hat, I rarely get recognized. But those are the true fans that recognize you.
I was going to say, you've got this cultivated look that you always have.
Yeah.
It's the hat with the gray t-shirt every time.
Yep. And then I'm not wearing my mowing pants right now, but my tan pants.
Yep.
Yeah.
I got to get a couple brownie points right here. My girlfriend is a big fan of yours. So she said to tell you that she says hi.
Well, tell her I said hi.
I'll let her know. Okay. My final question for you. Looking back at this really cool journey you've been on, what advice would you offer to your 23-year-old self?
23-year-old self. Why did you pick 23?
My age.
See, that's what I was guessing. So actually, I was 23 when I started this journey.
Mm-hmm.
When I started my social media pages, let's see, that was, yeah. So I was 22, and 2 months later, I turned 23 when I started all my social media stuff. Oh man, what would I tell myself? There's so many things. I'm trying to really think of the number one thing I would say. I think when I was that age, I was having a lot of trouble kind of figuring out what I really wanted to do. And I really didn't know. And it was a little bit depressing, like thinking, I'm just going to, work for the rest of my life and then die, because, I was just getting out of college. I just got a full-time job, and, my schedule was, wake up, get on the laptop to work. And even though I really liked my job, it wasn't extremely fulfilling. And so I think I would tell my 23-year-old self that even if you like what you do, it's really important to find something fulfilling. And even if it's typically not something you can be extremely successful in personally, like financially or just personally, there's ways to do that. And I think it's more important to find something that you're passionate about and that is really fulfilling to you and that can make an impact in the world. And I think if you make that your step one and your goal, rather than, making money or, being successful, I think if you make that your goal, everything else will follow. And, I've turned lawn mowing into something way bigger than cutting grass. And so I think if you just really focus on doing that, everything else is really going to follow. And, whether that's, doing it in a different business model, like I'm doing it, like I'm cutting grass in a whole different business model than anybody else is doing it. Or if you just do it in a conventional way and do it the best that you can do and be better than everybody else, then I think you'll go places.
I think that's great advice. It's like giving up good for great. Like, well, you can have a good life, but you could also have a great life. And I think it's that distinction is kind of what you're highlighting.
Yeah. Don't settle. Yeah, I think a lot of people get stuck in a pattern and stuck in being comfortable.
I love that. If you guys enjoyed this episode, please make sure to share it with a friend. You can find me on Instagram at Jacob O'Connor. The podcast is at Real Period Conversations. Spencer, thank you so much, man. It's been a blast.
I appreciate it.
Yep.
See you guys.
See ya.